waiting for rescue. That's the scene that's played out many times so far today in Colorado. Ahead, where the flood threat is the greatest right now.
And this is to blame for those high water woes and more. Storms that continue to punch the plains and the heartland, where millions of people are struggling against storms from now throughout the weekend.
Thank you so much for joining us for Weather Center Live. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Maria LaRosa. Several weather stories developing this afternoon. Philadelphia schools have canceled classes due to the heat.
Yeah, and the state of Colorado is struggling with flood trouble. I mean, heavy rain turned creeks into raging rivers in the Loveland area just yesterday. Water swamped streets and washed into homes and basements. And the Poudre River could reach more than 10.5 feet this afternoon. Maria has more on the situation there right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We have obviously rain of concern. Any additional rain is going to be a concern. You can see for Douglas counties, that includes Castle Rock, Highlands Ranch, Parker. You see how slow moving that rain is, and where that yellow and the orange is, that's not moving very much. So you're seeing additional rain. It has been a mess on the roadways in parts of the west, including around Denver. You can see some of the storm reports. Everywhere you see a circle, that's a storm report. This one saying accumulation of 4 inches, heavy rainfall with that one. This one more than 2.5 inches since early this morning. And again, if you think back at the pictures and all that happened during the late evening yesterday and the morning rush today, they don't want any more rainfall. But the setup is there for some of us to get more rainfall. We have plentiful moisture coming up off the Gulf of Mexico. Nothing is shutting this down. We've seen this now for weeks and weeks and weeks. We have the dip in the jet stream out across the west, but think of these little ripples along it, and each time one rolls on by, that's enhancing the rainfall, enhancing the storm threat. And with that front, notice the alternating red and blue, that's a stationary front, means not moving. If it's not moving, that storm threat isn't going to be moving either. So you're going to see those storms over the similar areas over and over. So scattered showers and thunderstorms, Oklahoma City, Wichita to Chicago, even as we get from Saturday into Sunday. And you see sort of this broad brush of that area, but it really is going to be in a very similar placement, even as we get into Monday, even pushing a little bit further off to the east. Cleveland for you, Pittsburgh, Louisville, looks like a rainy, stormy start to the week next week. The rainfall totals really do tell the story. Again, kind of a broad brush, so you know there's going to be a few areas that are going to pick up more than the 1 to 2, 2 to 3. But you see, we do have that 3+, and it's in some of those areas that over the last few weeks, the drought has been wiped out. So there too, susceptible to some of that flash flooding. But look at this, day by day, Kansas City for you. Definitely a washout on Saturday, at least 1/4 to maybe 1/2 inch each day here, Sunday into Monday, and then on to Tuesday. So you add that up over a couple days, and yeah, you usually get to 2 to 3. So with that severe threat and the thunderstorms continuing, that is going to be something that we'll keep an eye on. Viv, I know you're looking at that severe threat.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, fueling the flood concerns, the storm. So let's talk about the areas that we are watching as we go through the next 24 hours. This is one area we're including the west to central parts of Texas into Oklahoma, including the OKC area. So we need you to keep an eye to the sky for the rest of the afternoon. In fact, we're talking about a 30% chance of tornadic activity in the panhandle here of Texas. So definitely keep an eye to the sky. But our severe weather experts are here. Definitely we will continue to monitor the radar hour by hour, and we will be the first to let you know now if an official watch or certainly a tornado warning is issued for your area. This is a look at the timeline or the future radar, where we are anticipating the storms to develop as we progress deeper into the evening hours. Notice the timestamp now. Later on tonight, say around 7:30, we'll watch that line developing just to the west of Oklahoma City. And again, this line could have some tornadic thunderstorms within it as it moves off to the east and gets closer even toward the midnight hour in the Oklahoma City area. So slow moving storms with the threat of tornadoes. And again, because they're moving so slowly, some locally heavy rain will be a concern as well. The other region we're watching today for severe weather right here, in particular, the area shaded in red from west to central New York and Pennsylvania all the way down to Indianapolis and the central parts of Illinois. And this is a look at your future radar because we do anticipate the line of storms to develop across this region as well. Some individual storms could be quite dangerous in terms of hailstones, and high winds could accompany some of these storms later on. Notice the timestamp here for you across the Ohio Valley into the Northeast, because even through the wee hours of the morning, we'll be watching those storms across this region as well. Back to you, Maria.
All right, Vivian, with so much going on in the weekend, it's good to check in with us on a Friday, right? Kansas City, one of those places that you're going to see that storm threat stretch into the weekend. And you know what that means is that there's probably going to be some potential for severe weather. And that's what we have in the forecast. So you see Saturday and Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. I want to point out something else. Heat's one of our big stories that we're covering, but not necessarily here. We're into the low 80s, so at least there's that. But yeah, we want to prepare you for the potential for strong thunderstorms. With that abundant moisture, all you need is that little bit of a spark. And when the atmosphere is so saturated, once you can get that to translate down into rainfall, it can really, really add up. But that high pressure that's bringing the heat to the east is actually going to bring those showers and thunderstorms on the periphery of it. So yeah, Kansas City tomorrow, Columbia, Burlington, Des Moines, you're looking at that severe threat. Possible damaging winds, the large hail, and yes, the heavy rainfall. And then tomorrow we look to West Texas and parts of New Mexico from Carlsbad to Odessa. Lubbock included heavy rainfall, kind of a no-brainer, and large hail, all possible here. And then Sunday we see the best ingredients coming together for severe weather across parts of the Midwest and the Great Lakes. We have Madison, Chicago in there, Fort Wayne, and Detroit. A lot of outdoor activities and festivals going on. Cannot stress enough, make sure you have a way to get warnings, even the ability to check out the Weather Channel app here and look at the radar before you head out. That could save you a lot of trouble, that's for sure. Amarillo, Texas, another spot that we'll keep an eye on for the weekend with storms straight on through Monday. Viv?
All right, across much of the east, we don't have storms right now, but we are dealing with something else, the heat. And if you're in the pool business, of course, this is music to your ears. But how hot is too hot? And how long are we going to be in this heat wave? Those answers and much more straight ahead. Plus, they lift off and into some of the worst weather on the planet. The new tools hurricane hunting planes are getting right now, and how they might improve the forecast for tropical storms and hurricanes. Just keep it right here. We'll be right back.
I've got plans, and this is my baby right now. So it's just not the right time to get pregnant. That's why I chose Skyla. Skyla is the small, flexible IUD that prevents pregnancy for up to 3 years. So for me, there are no daily pills or monthly refills. I got my Skyla placed in just a few minutes at my OBGYN's office. And if I want to try to get pregnant, I can get it removed whenever I want.
If you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers, don't use Skyla. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called PID. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Skyla comes out, tell your doctor. Skyla may attach or go through the uterus and cause other problems. Pregnancy while using Skyla is uncommon, but can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur, but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase in the first 3 to 6 months and remain irregular. Periods over time usually become shorter, lighter, or may stop. Skyla does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Talk to your OBGYN about making the move to Skyla.
Check with your insurance to find out if you can get Skyla at no cost.
I went to Ancestry.com, but I thought, I'm not going to make it very far. And then it happened. I got a leaf. I could actually see my grandfather's draft card from World War I. And it all started with my first leaf.
Climate change, of course, has a lot to do with the Middle East, more than people realize. After all, Syria experienced the worst drought in its modern history from 2006 to 2010. Those were the 4 years leading up to the Syrian Revolution.
The Weather Channel presents 25 unexpected voices. Hear their stories at climate25.com.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. today. Sunshine and clouds mixed. High 88. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Low 79. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, considerable cloudiness. High 88. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Monday morning, a wet start to the week with heavy rains and flooding possible from the plains to the northeast. We've got the details. Wake up with Al, AMHQ, Monday morning at 5, only on the Weather Channel.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with Canine Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. Canine Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
At Safelite, we know how busy life can be. These kids were headed to their first dance recital when their windshield got cracked, but they couldn't miss the show. So Dad went to the new Safelite.com, and in just a few clicks, he scheduled a replacement before the girls even took the stage. Safelite.com is the fast, easy way to schedule service anywhere in America, so you don't have to miss a thing. Hey, y'all did wonderful. That's another Safelite advantage.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Call our toll-free number for a free idea kit. Endless pools are simple to install, easy to maintain, and economical to run. Swim or exercise against a smooth current that adjusts to any speed or ability. Perfect for year-round health, fitness, and relaxation. Call our toll-free number or visit our website for your free Endless Pools idea kit.
Too hot is when you don't have a lake right next to you with an umbrella in your drink.
If that's the criteria for how hot is too hot, expect a run on those little drink umbrellas in parts of the mid-Atlantic now because the heat is on. In fact, Philadelphia, you're under a heat advisory as the heat builds, and the city's schools have now canceled classes due to the increased heat. So yes, we're preparing, thank goodness, because that heat will be large and in charge as it moves from the west across the Midwest of the Ohio Valley, eventually making its way all the way into the Northeast. Case in point, today's record high is 95, but we're forecasting 93. So we're forecasting close to the record. So that means, yes, this heat will definitely be on. In fact, here are the heat advisories, including around the D.C. area, Baltimore, up to Wilmington, Philadelphia. As I mentioned, you are under a heat advisory for today. And right on through tomorrow, we'll still have the southerly flow bringing in that warmth. And you talk about temperatures running a good 10 to 15 degrees above average. So here's a look at the general forecast for the northeastern region. The forecast highs tomorrow, widespread 80s, even your 90s now. Raleigh and Durham, 95 degrees. The D.C. area, 91. New York City, about 85. Again, that's slightly, at least 5 to 10 degrees above average. And here's a quick look at Sunday. Again, the heat will stay on across a good part of the Northeast right on through the weekend. We talked about the record, flirting with it in Philadelphia, but D.C., you too will come close to your record. We're forecasting 91. The record is 95. Maria?
Well, Vivian, the temperature is one thing. How it feels is something else, and we call it the heat index. So what is it? There are a lot of factors that go into making that number. It's not just some random number in the air. Its technical definition is apparent temperature. That is an approximation of how hot it, quote, feels for a given combination of air temperature and relative humidity. So temperature and really how much moisture is in the air is a big component. If you want the actual equation, I know heads are exploding everywhere here now, looking at all those numbers and those letters. But yeah, you plug in that information and you come up with a heat index. So it takes into account a lot of things, including obviously the air temperature and the humidity, but it's also vapor pressure, things like skin and clothing surface temperatures, as well as the sweat rate, the ventilation rate, and the surface resistance to moisture transfer. Yeah, that was all packed into that equation. So it's a good thing thing that we just finally give you the end result and that actual heat index. And it's an important number because it really gives you an idea of what that temperature is going to have as far as an effect on your body. So we like to communicate it. That's why we want to point that out to you. The heat index today, especially when you're at 90 or above, can take a toll very quickly on you, your pets. 96 is what it feels like today in DC. It feels like 90 in New York City. And kind of give you an idea of what kind of stretch we're in for here. Take a look at New York. We have it through this week and into next week, what the heat index is forecast to be. A couple of things to point out. Yeah, mid-80s, not too bad. It's June. It's in the Northeast, but we're in for a little bit of a long haul in certain cases with that humidity level that high. But then you compare it to a city like DC, and it's important to note that, yeah, here's the 90 mark. We're going to be close to that a couple times here. And for officially not being summer just yet, it's a little early. Our bodies are not conditioned to it just yet. And so that's why it's important to know that kind of information so you can take precautions that you need to. Again, DC, looking at that heat index, you've got a couple times where it's more like into the low to mid 90s. So we're kind of getting into that time of year, Vivian, and we'll make sure everyone kind of understands what that heat index number means and why we communicate it.
And you know, Maria, the heat can also fuel storms, and we'll pinpoint the most active weather in the nation just ahead. Plus, they're the planes that have flown into hundreds of hurricanes, and now they're getting an upgrade ahead, the tools being added to help enhance the data hurricane hunters gather as they fly into some of the worst weather on the planet. Stay with us. Here's a live look now at the D.C. area, and again, we're on our way to 91 degrees today. The record is 95. So I'm sure the White House is well prepared for the heat and good air conditioning.
Every auto insurance policy has a number. But not every insurance company understands the life behind it. Those who have served our nation have earned the very best service in return. USAA. We know what it means to serve. Get an auto insurance quote and see why 92% of our members plan to stay for life.
A message from the Pulaski Law Firm. A government study reports thousands of workers have been diagnosed with asbestos-related mesothelioma. To compensate those affected, asbestos trusts have been established with $30 billion in initial funding. You may be entitled to financial compensation without ever going to court. Act now. Call 1-800-950-MESO for a free consultation. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, get the best care available. Then call us. Mesothelioma. Don't fight it alone.
Wow, sweet new Subaru, huh, Mitch? Yep. You're selling the Mitchmobile? Man, we had a lot of good times in this baby. What's your dad want for it? Like 150 grand. 200 if they want that tape deck. You're not gonna tell your dad about the time my hamster had babies in the back seat, are you? That's just normal wear and tear, dude.
Subaru has the highest resale value of any brand, according to Kelley Blue Book. And Mitch. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Look at that beautiful hotel on TripAdvisor. Wait, why leave the site? Don't you know? The TripAdvisor you've always trusted for reviews now checks over 200 websites to find the best price. Over 200 sites checked to find the best price. So don't just visit TripAdvisor. At TripAdvisor.
Climate change, of course, has a lot to do with the Middle East, more than people realize. After all, Syria experienced the worst drought in its modern history from 2006 to 2010. Those were the 4 years leading up to the Syrian Revolution.
The Weather Channel presents 25 unexpected voices. Hear their stories at climate25.com.
The pride, the intensity, the sound, the fury are rising. See one of the Southeast's largest fireworks shows after the race and catch a glimpse of the Daytona Rising era to come. New seats are selling fast. Guarantee yours now. The Coke Zero 400 powered by Coca-Cola. Sunday, July 5th. Call 1-800-PIT-SHOP or visit DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Yo! No thank you for the bag, man. I hooked you up, bro. Try getting a deal like that from some other bag. Bet you feel rich now. Hey, ladies, this dude's loaded.
Checkers and Rally's 2 for $2 deal is back. Your favorite crispy fish with Alaskan filet or our boldly seasoned spicy chicken sandwich. Mix or match them for just $2.
Hey, man, how about a fry for the lady?
Checkers and Rally's.
Send the bag.
New episodes of Fat Guys in the Woods, Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 88. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Low 79. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, considerable cloudiness. High 88. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This just into the Weather Channel, a severe thunderstorm watch out until 9 o'clock local time. It includes northern and central Ohio. There you see Cleveland, Columbus included in the severe thunderstorm watch. We've had some storms developing within the watch area. The line is coming across Indiana right into northwestern Ohio. And notice this particular thunderstorm has warranted a severe thunderstorm warning. We've had reports of winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour as the storm themselves move off to the east at about 50 miles per hour. Maria?
We are also tracking storms at sea. That includes Tropical Storm Carlos in the eastern Pacific. And some of the planes hurricane hunters use to fly into tropical systems like Carlos are getting an update and an overhaul. Joining us now is NOAA Corps Commander Devin Brockup. What upgrades are we looking at here? I was reading about some of them, and I got to tell you, it's really exciting for the science of these missions and what that means for the future.
Yes, it is, Maria. It's very exciting. NOAA was given some Sandy supplemental money from Hurricane Sandy a few years back, and we are currently going to upgrade the engines on our NOAA P3s to allow us to fly higher, faster, farther, and longer. We are also upgrading and revitalizing the wings, improving the structural fatigue issues we have with them, and inserting more corrosion-resistant material into the wings. And the third piece of the upgrades are the avionics on the aircraft, to include the radars and the cockpit displays.
We know how important the data is going into these models and how important these missions are. So what specifically will be helped as far as when it comes to data and data retrieval?
Well, the engines can allow us to fly up to an hour longer, which may allow us to initiate the models with earlier data in the hurricanes that are far off the coast. It will also allow us to reach higher altitude and possibly collect more data to input into the hurricane models. The avionics themselves will hopefully increase the intensity forecasting and the accuracy of the forecasts. The tail Doppler radar is being upgraded to double the capacity, the number of rotations it makes, so it'll collect much finer details of the vertical profile of the hurricane itself. And the lower fuselage radar on the belly of the airplane is also being upgraded that will allow us more data to be processed and create better forecasts for the nation.
All right, so we've got hurricane season underway. What's the timetable that we're looking at for some of these upgrades?
Well, the first airplane, Kermit, our first aircraft, is actually in Jacksonville right now at the Navy maintenance facility, putting the new wings on that aircraft. Our other airplane, Miss Piggy, just finished the first ever operational testing of the new Rolls-Royce 3.5 engines successfully last week. It goes off onto a project next week, and then it'll be back in time for the hurricane season. And the second aircraft, the next set of engines will be thrown out to Jacksonville later this year, and will be fully operational by the end of
What do these upgrades mean? Is there any kind of limit here as far as the number of flights that can be done as these upgrades happen?
No, every couple of years, we have two NOAA P-3 aircraft, and every couple of years we do a regular heavy maintenance schedule with the Navy, which only allows us to fly one aircraft throughout the hurricane season. In that situation, we fly one aircraft with two crews, and it can fly around the clock. We also get support from the Air Force Reserves, which fly C-130s and do reconnaissance into the hurricanes, as well as the NOAA G4, which flies up higher than the P-3 and out in front to see where the storm's going to be going.
Well, you all have it covered, and we're so happy to hear about these upgrades and excited for the future of it, and we always appreciate everything that you do for the weather community and the people at large. We really appreciate your time today. NOAA Corps Commander Devin Brockup, thank you so much. Vivian?
All right, thanks very much, Maria. Well, storms on land are creating headaches. They shredded tents at the Denver Library's book sale, and if the winds didn't knock the tents down, heavy rain flooded some of them. Library officials posted this hashtag, "Rain, rain, go away." And that says it all.
Shopping for the family used to cause a lot of stress between me and my budget. But thanks to Fingerhut, we have found our happy place.
Life is definitely sweeter.
At Fingerhut.com, we got approved to shop with low monthly payments, over 200,000 items with brand names like Samsung, Dyson, DeWalt, and with great family stuff like this Samsung TV.
And even our yoga mats.
All you got to do is click on over to Fingerhut.com and get the credit you deserve to get all kinds of great stuff for the family.
This Father's Day, let's turn our hero into a superhero. Let's give him the power, consult with his sidekick, and equip him with all the super tools he needs, all on a mild-mannered budget, so he can spend some quality time back in his lair, then come out strong and save the day. Let's do this. Get special Father's Day savings like this Husky tool set for just $99. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
I was 63 and getting a divorce and trying to figure out, well, what did I want? Where did I want to be? And how could I accomplish that? It was a really difficult time in my life. I really don't have enough income to make a house payment. It was kind of scary. It really was kind of scary because I didn't know how my money was going to work out. LiveWell helped me figure that out. That was really important. They are different. They didn't push me. They didn't try to sell me on what to do. They showed me my options, and I trust them. You know, I appreciate that LiveWell Financial is there to help me and help people like me. It was a big decision for me, even with the background that I have, knowing how a reverse mortgage works. It was a choice. My goal was that, you know, LiveWell would help me find a situation where I wouldn't have to have a house payment. I don't have a house payment. I have enough money to live on and travel and enjoy my life. I live well. Hello? You did it! Yay! I take care of myself, and I'm doing that not only physically but financially. And LiveWell has helped me do that. LiveWell Financial is different, and their way of dealing with their clients, I think, is really particularly comfortable for seniors. You know, we don't want to do anything in a hurry. We don't want to make a bad choice. I certainly didn't. LiveWell helped me figure that out. I think the people at LiveWell are different. Their clients' well-being is really important to them. LiveWell has shown me that they care about me. And isn't that who you want to do business with? LiveWell Financial.
Glad you're with us right here on AMHQ. The whole team.
Right? Either go all in or just tap out.
Here we go. I told you, we're going to bust out of this drought.
As we say, keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history happen together.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 88. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 79. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, considerable cloudiness, high 88. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Episodes of Fat Guys in the Woods, Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
I was at work when she called me and she said, Daddy, Daddy, I'm drowning, I'm drowning. I said, what? She said, yeah, I drove into a lake and I'm sitting on top of the car. I rescue my cell phone and my purse and the umbrella.
A call of sheer panic from a daughter when rising water overwhelmed the road she was on yesterday in Colorado Springs. She was just one of the flood victims saved by rescue crews throughout the afternoon.
And that flood trouble continues along the Front Range of the Rockies ahead, where the risk of flooding is highest today and into the weekend.
All right, it is 1:30 here on Weather Center Live. Thanks for joining us. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Maria LaRosa. Denver's faced flood trouble as well, as we've seen with some of those pictures. It was a rough morning.
Oh, absolutely. Drivers splashed as they steered along some streets in the Mile High City yesterday. Today, the South Platte River is approaching flood stage, and officials worry that Douglas County in the southwest corner of the state is at risk of flooding too. Maria tracks the flood threat.
All right, we're going to look at where the heaviest rain is right now, and you can see it is not where this camera is, but you see the cloudy skies. A live look at Denver. Mess of the roads last night. Again this morning, we had firefighters called to rescue people in flooded cars. The National Weather Service in Boulder actually said 2.22 inches of rain fell in 30 minutes near Elizabeth, Colorado. That is a lot of rain for a full day, for a week even, and to get that in half an hour, you can understand why there were so many problems. So we still have the flash flood warning in effect for Douglas County. There's Denver. A lot of the heaviest rain is off to the east, but when you talk about the saturation of the air mass in around this area, you can understand why there's so much rain being churned out here. But a lot of reports have been coming in, and a lot of them talking about how much rain has fallen. 4 inches with this particular report, and then in Inglewood you had more than 2.5 inches, and we do have more rain in the forecast and a lot of other areas that'll be included in that. And we do have some flash flood watches. Keep in mind, a lot of saturated ground in these areas. Any additional rainfall, you're going to see it accumulate on the roadways and some of those rivers and creeks. Ample moisture coming up from the Gulf, and then you need that trigger to translate that into rainfall, and we've got it. That dip in the jet stream and a slow moving upper level low pressure. That's just one way of lifting the air, and you get the showers and the thunderstorms. Dallas, Oklahoma City, Little Rock. Look at the time frame, Saturday and Sunday. Keep in mind, if you have outdoor plans, there's lots of festivals going on, maybe camping in the Ozarks. You've got to make sure you have a way to get warnings, even flash flood warnings. We can see from Monday, that rainfall total, Vivian, easily in spots 3 inches or more.
All right, we'll keep tabs on that for sure. What storms are another cause for concern. They pummeled the ground with dime-sized hailstones in central Kansas yesterday. Let's show you who faces a 30% chance of possible tornadoes and severe weather today, and we're mainly focusing our attention on the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma. In Texas, that's where we have that 30% chance of tornadic activity. Our severe weather expert has put together, you know, a Toricon scale, tornado conditions, the scale from 0 to 10, with 10 being the greatest chance of tornadoes. So there's a 3 on this scale, but again, you may be saying that's a low number, but anytime the number, a city or an area is given a number, period, we want you to be aware and keep an eye to the sky. And again, a 3, that's a 30% chance of tornadic activity. This is a look at the future radar because we are anticipating these storms to line up across the panhandle and slowly push off to the east. So look at the time stamp now, between 7 and 8 o'clock this evening. That's when we think those storms will really start to encroach on the Oklahoma City area. And even as we go through the midnight hour, we'll still be looking at central Oklahoma. Another area that we're watching here across the Ohio Valley, the chance of hailstones and high winds associated with these storms throughout the day as well. Maria?
Well, Vivian, that's not the only stormy place. It's not the only day either. Take a look at Chicago. Some storms even as we get into the weekend. Rumbles of thunder, yes. Keep in mind, too, lots going on. You have Chicago's movie in the parks. That started. You've got Back to the Future 2 playing tonight, by the way, at Independence Park. Of course, weather permitting. Doesn't look so great right now. Clouds mostly for tomorrow, but the storm threat, hit and miss at the very least, continues into the weekend and actually early next week. Lots of moisture. You see the trend that we're talking about. We bring that up a lot, because that's the fuel for the showers and the thunderstorms. And then you need the trigger, and that jet stream is going to be really active as it rides over that area of high pressure that's dominating the east, and that's bringing the heat. So we call them ridge riders when they're over the ridge, and you've got it starting tomorrow with that severe threat in western Texas, and then you've got it into the Midwest here on Sunday. Includes Chicago, Madison, Fort Wayne, Detroit, but everywhere you see even the orange, the general plain old thunderstorms, those two, gusty winds, and obviously a lot of lightning. So if you're going to be at the pool or out at some of these wonderful festivals across the country, got to keep that in mind. Amarillo, another spot with the storms. Saturday, Sunday, and even into Monday, Viv.
Well, Maria, this week marks 3 weeks since those catastrophic floods in Hays County, Texas. And as the water got higher, dozens of frightened people called 911 for help. Just 90 minutes after the flooding started, the Blanco River was nearly 3 stories deep, and Wimberley, Texas was a town drowning in chaos.
We had torrential rain in a very short period of time in the middle of the night.
We knew that water was coming down, but never did we in our wildest imagination think about the wall of water that would come down and do the destruction.
Hey, County 911, do you need to fire EMS? Hi, I'm not sure where we're located. We're on the Blanco River in Wimberley, and the water is up to the 2nd story into the house. Okay, what's your address? Or the address of the emergency? 100 Deer Crossing. Okay, and what is your name? Laura, L-A-U-R-A, Macomb, M-C. And you said it's in your 2nd floor? It's coming up to the 2nd floor. I mean, it's so high up.
Homes have been completely wiped off of the map.
We do have whole streets that have maybe 1 or 2 houses left on them, and the rest are just slabs.
Hello? Hello? Dad, we're floating. Hey, what's your address? Where are you located? Where are you located? Hello? Steve.
The house we were in, the roof collapsed, and we are now floating down the river. Call Mom and Dad, I love you, and pray.
We are 100% committed to finding Laura, Andrew, Leighton, Randy, Will, Ralph, and Sue.
We are still in search and rescue mode. We are still looking for viable victims.
All right, a good 8 feet above flood stage, of course, in the Wimberley area, but now it's almost 8 feet below flood stage, so the river has started to recede for sure.
We'll be right back.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under mostly cloudy skies. this afternoon. A mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy this evening with more clouds for overnight. Low 79. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, considerable cloudiness. High 88. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with Canine Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. Canine Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you get 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get no interest and paid in full within 12 months on your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
Head & Shoulders with Old Spice, America's #1 male dandruff brand, keeping you 100% flake-free, guaranteed, while smelling 100% handsome. Take a whiff. Head & Shoulders with Old Spice.
As the host of my own home improvement show, I know how difficult finding a home service pro can be. Now there's an easy way. HomeAdvisor.com. It's a free service that instantly connects you with top local service pros.
You can use HomeAdvisor for everything. Your house cleaning, your painting. For plumbers, electrical, concrete.
It's more than a list. It's reviews. It's background screening.
If I can use it, anybody can use it. It's that simple.
Very, very easy to use. And it's free.
Are you missing out on life because you're putting off neck or back surgery? Call Laser Spine Institute, the leader in minimally invasive spine surgery, to learn how a less than 1-inch incision can have you up and walking within a few hours of surgery, free from chronic back pain, and with no hospital stay and no lengthy recovery. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with spinal stenosis, bulging or herniated disc, sciatica, or other chronic conditions, call today for your MRI review.
When you're in that much pain and you live on painkillers, you really don't have quality of life. I feel like Laser Spine Institute was an answer to prayer. It's just the heavens had opened up and it was like, I can live again.
If you've been told you might need neck or back surgery, call 1-855-401-BACK for your MRI review.
Laser Spine Institute, a less than 1-inch incision, a lifetime of standing tall.
There's a big difference between retirement and a secure retirement. Well, you may be standing right in front of the difference between uncertainty and knowing that everything's going to be all right. It's your home. Turning your home's equity into tax-free cash when you need it is a simple way to eliminate your existing monthly mortgage payments, pay off debt, and get you and your family the financial resources you need. It's a loan that your home pays back instead of you making monthly payments, the way you do with a traditional mortgage. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage. Now, we all love our homes. Why not just stay there using a reverse mortgage with AAG? It could be the perfect solution. Call us today to receive a free information pack with no obligation that contains a helpful 3-part guide and DVD. You'll receive a guide to reverse mortgages and how they work, including the many consumer safeguards that protect you and your home. Also, our important all-new reverse mortgage retirement planner that explains the many ways a reverse mortgage could provide stability and security for your retirement. We then add a guide filled with information for children and loved ones. It's got what you need to know about reverse mortgages and how they can play a vital role in your retirement plans.
Call 1-800-816-8185 to receive our all-new information pack, all absolutely free with no obligation. Call 1-800-816-8185. That's 1-800-816-8185.
Real retirement security makes all the difference. Find out more about what a reverse mortgage can do for you.
Call 1-800-816-8185 to receive our all-new information pack, all absolutely free with no obligation. Call 1-800-816-8185. That's 1-800-816-8185.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
It is now 17 minutes before the top of the hour. Breaking news into the Weather Channel right now. We're hearing 3 climbers are in distress on Mount Rainier. We do not know of any injuries, but we do know they have called for help. This is a live camera on Mount Rainier, and you can see cloud cover is an issue right now. We're also looking at temperatures into the 40s and some fairly gusty winds. Right now steady at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Joining us now by phone is Creek Stewart, survival expert. Creek, so great for you to join us right now. Talk about surviving at high altitude where temperatures can get very cold very quickly.
Well, quite frankly, it's the most brutal survival conditions that a human can face. You know, not only are you looking at low oxygen levels, which lead to headaches and confusion and poor decision making, but exposure is always our number one threat. And at the top of a mountain is when your exposure is the greatest, period.
And when we're hearing temperatures like 40s like we have now as one of the observations, it doesn't sound terribly cold, but when you're out there in it for hours, it can be very dangerous, as you mentioned. Should they be digging a cave in the snow to stay warm?
Well, I tell you, a human can get hypothermia in temperatures as high as 50 degrees if it's windy and if it's wet. And I'm sure that there's a lot of moisture at the top of those mountains, and I can guarantee you that it's windy. So their number getting out of the wind, staying dry as much as possible, and resting, because any movement that they're making is, you know, anything above 8,000 feet-ish, we're looking at, these are levels where people can get, you know, high altitude sickness, which can make a bad situation worse.
And we're hearing again, they're up at 14,000 feet. So taking all of that in consideration, not knowing how long they've been there, how long without water? When does that become a problem?
Well, water isn't an immediate concern. You know, in general, humans can survive for 3 days without water, but any longer than about 24 hours, and they're going to start feeling some pretty serious issues with dehydration. So right now, I'm sure there's probably snow where they're at, or at least remnants of snow. So they could melt snow if they're running low on water, but it's not an immediate concern. Their immediate concern is exposure to the elements.
All right, talk to me about frostbite, because I know, you know, it's hiking season and you think it's, all right, late spring, early summer. Frostbite is not an issue, is it, even if it's in the 40s?
Not really, no. Frostbite in the 40s isn't a huge concern. At those temperatures right now, their concerns primarily when it comes to cold weather are hypothermia. If they're wet and if it's windy and if the temperatures are in the 40s, then it is the perfect recipe for hypothermia. So that is really, you know, that's really what these climbers' main concern is going to be right now.
All right, Creek Stewart, as always, great to talk to you. Great information. We'll keep you on hand, too, as we follow this story. But it looks like 3 climbers are in some kind of distress, 14,000 feet up Mount Rainier in Washington State, and the Pierce County Sheriff's Office confirming this. So we'll continue to follow this. Right now, reports that there's just some cloud cover, no snow, no rain, and temperatures that are into the mid-40s. So we'll be following it right here on the Weather Channel. Vivian?
All right, from the woods, you turn to the sea ahead where Tropical Storm Carlos is churning and how it might affect travel plans to Mexico. Plus, 2 wild weather videos with something in common. Yes, just a little science to start the weekend. We're geeking out right after your local forecast on the 8th. A live look, though, in Chicago. It is wet in the city right now. We have a complete look at your forecast as we go through the weekend. Stay tuned for your forecast as well as the forecast for the entire nation right after this.
Responding by storm, powered by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
It's a calling, a love affair, a quest, the next horizon. Everyone loves the chase.
Heartburn.
No one burns on my watch. Try Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. They work fast and don't taste chalky.
Amazing. I have heartburn.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
That's why we get real local the moment you need it.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida.
Real accurate.
This is round one of the severe storms that are coming through.
From real experts on the ground.
That is a gust front for you right there in Dusty, Texas. Wow.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on. Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds east-east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy this evening. Saturday, considerable cloudiness. High 88. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The ultimate do-over for wood and concrete. Don't replace, resurface. Behr Premium Deck Over, exclusively at the Home Depot.
If you misplaced your Discover card, you can now use Freeze It to prevent new purchases on your account in seconds. And once you find it, you can switch it right on again. You're back! Freeze It, only from Discover. Get it at discover.com.
Why do we insist on 100% Alaskan whitefish? Why do we always hand dip in our famous batter, cook it to golden perfection, and serve it with fries for just $1.99? Because at Long John Silver's, we think you deserve more for $1.99.
Attention, did you or anyone in your household work around asbestos-containing gaskets and packing? The Garlock bankruptcy may affect your rights even if you do not presently have an asbestos-related disease. Garlock's products were used in industrial and maritime settings where steam, hot liquid, or acid moved in pipes. Certain personal injury claims must be filed by October 6, 2015. You may have a right to vote on Garlock's plan to reorganize and pay claims. Call 844-GARLOCK or go to garlocknotice.com.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Call our toll-free number for a free idea kit so you can discover all the benefits of owning your own pool. Compared to traditional pools, endless pools are simple to install, easy to maintain, and economical to run. Our precision-engineered pools enable you to swim or exercise against a smooth current that adjusts to any speed and ability. Endless pools are perfect for year-round health and fitness, relaxation, and family fun. Our free idea kit and DVD will show you how easy it is for the whole family to enjoy a pool in your home or backyard. An endless pool or an endless pool swim spa can become a showplace for your home. Call our toll-free number to find out more about endless pools. The free idea kit will show you just how easy it is to be able to swim at home.
So you take a chance on that slick DirecTV offer. $19 you think, but after just 3 months, you're paying over $100 a month, and it keeps going up. Suddenly, you're locked into a 2-year contract that could cost you nearly $3,000. Thinking about DirecTV? Better hang on to your wallet.
Don't fall for DirecTV's latest offer. There's nothing direct about DirecTV.
When irritated, itchy summer skin holds me back, I count on Cortisone 10 Intensive Healing, with the strongest non-prescription itch medicine available for fast, long-lasting relief, and 7 moisturizers to help heal skin. Cortisone 10. Feel the heal.
When I have an eczema flare-up, I start to scratch. The more I scratch, the worse it gets. It's maddening.
Gold Bond Eczema Relief Cream. Used daily, it's proven to relieve 5 frustrating symptoms of eczema.
Gold Bond Eczema Relief really works.
Monday morning, a wet start to the week with heavy rains and flooding possible from the plains to the northeast. We've got the details. Wake up with Al, AMHQ, Monday morning at 5, only on the Weather Channel.
All right, you're looking live at Acapulco, Mexico, one of the areas under a tropical storm watch, courtesy of Tropical Storm Carlos. Now, parts of Mexico's coast is seeing rain right now, but again, you can see the hazy conditions, clouds on the increase as we watch this tropical storm. Thanks for joining us on the Weather Channel. I'm in the lab with hurricane specialist Michael Lowry, and we're talking about Tropical Storm Carlos, the third tropical storm in the Eastern Pacific.
It's really been a remarkable year, a remarkable start to a hurricane season. We've already had two major hurricanes, Category 4 hurricanes out there. This one, not yet a hurricane. Winds of 60 miles per hour. Those hurricane force winds start once the winds get up to 74 miles per hour. Looking at that webcam, you could see that, or the tower cam, you could see that it was only really partly cloudy. It's because most of the thunderstorms have been off to the south side of this. Strong winds at the upper levels of the atmosphere are keeping most of the convection offshore for now. So that's been a good part of the story, and also sort of limiting its development.
And you can see that it's stationary, so it's not moving much, but as it does continue to maybe gain some forward momentum, we think it'll just continue to skirt parallel to the coast.
Yeah, and that's why we have a tropical storm watch up. It's because there's the potential in some of these rain bands as they rotate onshore that we could get those 39+ mile-per-hour winds. I think the core of this, though, is going to stay offshore. Not expected to move toward the north, expected to drift off toward the west. There is a high pressure system that'll be building in that's going to move it off in that direction. But look at these water temperatures, Vivian.
Oh yeah,
still
very warm.
And every storm seems to want to form over the warmest part of the Eastern Pacific. I mean, right over it. So that's why we think, even though those winds are pretty strong, that this does have the potential of becoming a low-end hurricane, but it should weaken back to a tropical storm, or even weaker than that, before it gets to the southern tip of the Baja Peninsula come the middle part of next week.
Okay, so we'll continue to watch the Eastern Pacific, but we're looking at something over the Atlantic Basin.
Just want to touch on this. This is the general regime right now in the tropics. This green area is showing us where the atmosphere is generally favorable for some sort of development. Our computer models, Vivian, hinting at maybe something trying to form here over the next few days. I don't think anything significant, but something to watch, because we can get those big rain on as we get into next week.
And definitely we will do that. Thanks very much, Michael. All right, back to you in the studio, Maria.
All right, Viv, we get some really impressive video into us here at the Weather Channel, and what's especially impressive about the video some of you capture and send to us is the number of questions that they can spark. And here's a great example of a site that obviously surprised quite a few people in Edmonton, Canada 2 weeks ago.
Holy
what is this?
I'm so scared, but this is like so amazing.
Yo, make sure you act on that, huh? My phone's charging.
That is so cool.
They were super excited, right? Very, very cool. And yeah, that's a dust devil. And the people who took that video were obviously surprised to see that. We know it wasn't a tornado. Just life cycle here makes it kind of this gustnado. But that's not all that spun up and captured your interest and ours. Check this out. The circle highlights that area to watch. Look closely. Look at that. Woo, there it goes. You see that right there? It almost looks like the debris cloud kicked up by a tornado, but obviously it's just over a swimming pool. This is at a Destin hotel, and the folks that took this video called it a poolnado, which is kind of cute. But believe it or not, the same mechanism that created the dust devil we showed you a few seconds ago actually helped spin this up. I mean, think about in the fall when you see the way the buildings form and they can sort of make the air spin, and you see the leaves get caught up. It's the same kind of mechanism. Now, we did have some showers and some thunderstorms in the area at the time, but this was not a water spout or a land spout. It really was a pool version of a dustnado, hence poolnado, which we think is kind of interesting. But yeah, if you were in there, I bet that would have been pretty cool to see. But we appreciate you sending in very cool video like this for us to talk about here and share with you. Keep it coming here into the Weather Channel. Well, still to come, other things spinning up this weekend. Festivals maybe. This Festival Friday, we've got the forecast for a big music event. Bonnaroo in Manchester, Tennessee. It's the 14th year for the 4-day event.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under mostly cloudy skies. this afternoon. A mix of clouds and sun. High 88. Winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy this evening with more clouds for overnight. Low 79. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, considerable cloudiness. High 88. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.